In this video, we will show you how to replace your coolant temp sensor on this Nissan Altima with a 2.5-liter engine. Your coolant temp sensor will be located along the driver's side of your engine. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. The first thing we're going to have to talk about is that we will have to make our way under the vehicle, so you want to make sure you're in a safe area. Once you've done that, make your way under the hood. You're going to find your radiator cap along the passenger side front. Assuming it's nice and cool to the touch, go ahead and take hold of that, press it down, turn it counterclockwise, and lift it up and away from your face, just in case there's any pressure. We'll just give that a quick inspection, and we can set this aside. Let's safely raise and support our vehicle. Now let's carefully make our way underneath the front of the car. This is where we're going to have to find the drain. Along the passenger side subframe, if you were to look up inside this small hole, you're going to find a little X. That's a spot for a Phillips head screwdriver. This is the drain. Make sure you have a collection bucket so you can recycle the fluid properly. We'll let this fully drain. Once your coolant is done draining, continue on to reinstalling the drain plug. Bottom it out, and then just make sure it's nice and snug. Swipe down our mess here. Just put that radiator cap on there. Let's continue on to removing our engine cover from across the top here. You'll find this is held in place with 3 10mm headed bolts. It also has one push-in locking clip along the back side here. Inspect that mounting hardware as you remove it. Replace it as necessary. At this point, I'll take hold along this area and lift it straight up and remove the engine cover. With the cover out of the way, along the passenger side of the engine is where you're going to find your coolant temp sensor. It's kind of just behind this hose. We'll push that out of the way, and you have a clear view of the wiring harness. It has a gray connector on that. It does have a lock. It's along the back side. Just squeeze that in, lift this up and off. Once you have it disconnected, give it a quick check for corrosion. We'll set that wiring aside. At this point, we'll be using a 19mm to remove the sensor. There it is, friend. Once you have the sensor out of place, continue on to cleaning and inspecting the mounting area. Now we can get ready to install our sensor. We'll take this and start it in by hand. Once you start it in by hand, you can go ahead and bottom it out. Now we'll torque this to 24.5 foot-pounds. Now it's time for the electrical connector. We'll take this and put it in place. Align the locking tab, press it down, listen for a click. Once you hear a click, give it a nice tug to make sure it's properly secured. It's time to reinstall the engine cover. Looking along the bottom side here, you will find that you have a rubber grommet. And if you were to look up along the top of where the valve cover is, you're going to find this small locating tab. We'll align those two areas and also align our mounting bolt holes. After that, we can start in all 3 of our 10mm headed mounting bolts. Get this cap off of here. Now the next thing we're going to do is continue on with filling our cooling system. To fill the cooling system, there's a specialty tool, but you could also just use a coolant funnel if you wanted to. Make sure you use the proper adapter that fits over this area. Let's get this into position. Continue on with our funnel. Now that we have that on there, let's continue on to filling this up with the manufacturer's specified coolant. When we do so, we're going to add coolant into the funnel. You'll find that you have air bubbles making their way up, and the coolant will make its way down into the cooling system. We're going to start up the vehicle, let it run for a little while. Once you hear those cooling fans turn on, you can continue on to double checking for air and then closing up the system. Now that you've burped out all the air from in the system, go ahead and remove your funnel apparatus and continue on to reinstalling your radiator cap. Make sure that's nice and secure. Now that we've filled the cooling system and we know it's full, go ahead and check for leaks one last time, close the hood, and then take your vehicle for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.